What's up, bro? I have had just the most amazing revelations this week, and I really want to hop on. I was just heading out to the gym, and I thought, you know what? Sat there meditating and just really putting together everything that's happened this week. So, basically, for some context, I have just last week I started tracking everything. And when I say everything, I mean, so initially I started tracking my trades, and I realized, holy shit, this is what I needed to be doing this whole time. As soon as I started tracking the trades, my results instantaneously improved massively. So I said, okay, if it worked here, let me extrapolate that out to other areas. And what I initially went to was tracking finances. So then I know finances and trading are linked, but I started tracking my finances, and not only was I making more money, partly because of that, I think, but also I was able to spend money more freely because I knew I've actually put this much money away. I've put this much money away for investing. This is actually what I can spend. And it was like this liberation. Like I went from spending something and thinking, ooh, shall I be doing this? Not really sure. And just feeling like kind of like a slight pang of guilt almost, to being completely free, knowing, okay, I've spent this and I have X amount left to spend. So then it worked in there. And then last week I started tracking, let's say like my life tracking sheet. So basically my thesis is that my dad always used to say, what gets measured gets managed. And then you can extend that out to what gets managed gets improved. So if we want to improve something, we first need to know what's working and what's not working, because how are we meant to do something better if we don't know what's actually working? So then I started tracking, I'm just flicking through it here, like everything from what I did in the morning, what I did in the afternoon, what I did at nighttime, how many hours sleep I had, how I woke up, what my energy levels were like, productivity levels, and then overall a general well-being. And holy fuck, man, like it is actually crazy. Just in this 1 week, I've had one of the biggest unlocks that I've had in years. And I was of the perception that I had to be productive in order to have a good day. In my brain, productive day equals feeling good day. And even just after 1 week of tracking, I saw on the days that I actually had a lie-in, the days that I wasn't productive, I was actually creative, those were the days I marked as top of the world. So I have it like average, poor, good, great, top of the world. And the only two top of the world days was days where I slept in, I wasn't productive, and it's just a complete shift. Like it's something that I was trying to implement, but for some reason, the way my brain works, I had to actually see it in the data. And I was like, oh my God, I can look here, see morning productivity poor, evening productivity poor, and overall general well-being the highest it could be. And it has just liberated me massively, to the point where I've always been of the, not the essence, I've always been of putting my principles first, so putting my values, like leading a value-driven life. And my highest value, which I marked out years ago, was freedom. So to me, I was trying to embody the not foregoing what we're trying to achieve in order to achieve more of it. Chris Williams puts it brilliantly. I can't remember how he actually says it, but we put off what we're actually trying to experience in order to try and buy more of that, or trying to secure more of that. So like a perfect example is like we work a job so that we're able to do things, but the job actually ends up taking up most of our time to do those things. So my logic was, okay, let me just not work a job and then just do those things anyways. But what ended up happening was, I've never worked a full-time job for a full year in my entire life. But all that period, I was not allowing myself to do the stuff that I wanted to do, which is like make music, do art, just sit and do nothing. I do a lot of that, to be honest. OG tip, it is one of my literally favorite things to do is just sit there for an hour and just literally just do nothing. Just put in some Mambe, just meditate, just whatever. Set a timer. I mix it up in different ways, but it's just this pure feeling of actual relaxation and actual freedom. And what I find is everything that I need to think about finds its way to the top at some point. And what actually works for me is having some kind of a capture function. So for me, it's having a whiteboard near. When something, so I try not to use the whiteboard, but when something calls, boom, just put it on there. The thought gets extracted from my head. Boom, I know it's there now, and I actually see it. So you can see my whiteboard's just filled with stuff. I have a smaller one as well. But what was I saying? So this whole time I've been thinking that I've been living by my ideal life, let's say, because I'm not, like, my number one goal is to not work a job. So yes, I've ticked that box, but I wasn't actually then finishing it. I was not working a job, but then I wasn't actually doing what I wanted to do. And we had a ceremony a couple of weeks ago, and it was after that, whatever happened, I sang for the first time since I was like a kid. And it was just this amazing feeling of, the essence was just music. So then after that, then this opportunity came in to record a song. And I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. Like, genuinely, when lockdown happened in 2020, the first thing I did was just spent months just producing music. That was the first thing that I pursued. And then, where's the book? I actually bought a trading book and Call of Duty on Amazon. Both arrived the same day. I opened the trading book, played Call of Duty once, and then haven't touched my PS4 since then, because I just got completely obsessed with the charts, and that became my game. But that's been my game so much to the fact that I haven't allowed for any other games, like games that I like music, like art, etc., just sporadically. And it was in those moments that I look back that I was the most fulfilled, the most chilled, and just no stress, no worries, no money. And now that I have the money, or I have the method to actually generate the money, it's even more of a reason to ensure that I do those things. And again, I don't even really want to mention the money part, because I genuinely went through periods just traveling around with nothing, sleeping outside, doing art, and just being, when I look back, pretty much the happiest that I've been, or at least just the most chilled. And most at peace is probably a good word, and that is another one of my highest values, like peace of mind. And yeah, it's just been crazy that it took my logical brain to see it in the data. You can have a good time. Like, the data is telling me you're feeling your best even when you're not productive, even when your productivity is poor. So what else did I write down this week? But yeah, just hitting on this point, the data, start tracking it. Just a simple spreadsheet. I use Notion, but you can, if you're better on Excel, just honestly, it has been transformational. So yeah, just, it's pretty much all I wrote in my weekly review. It's all stuff on the same stuff. Just do more of what you would do if money didn't exist. And yeah, for me now, I have this separation where it's like, okay, I have my morning to trade. That's my, let's say, my money making period. But once that's done, once I've closed the laptop, I'm genuinely free then to do anything that I want to do. And that can also come with its difficulties, because even my weird brain, I have to almost systemize what I want to do, or at least just put some kind of boundaries on it, because what do they say? Creativity thrives within constraints. So if we can do anything, then we'll probably just end up doing nothing. And then that's when we just end up sitting on our phone. So I've deleted Instagram again. Jesus, just me and Instagram. I just cannot have it on my phone. To be fair, my screen time is actually really good recently. And good, which is scary, is like 3 hours. I plugged it into the Opal app, and with a 3-hour average screen time, that means we'll spend 17 years of our life on our phone. 17 fucking years. That's over like 20% of our waking. How is that even possible though, for 24 hours in a day, 3 hours a day? But anyways, even fucking 5 years is fucking scary. So yeah, Instagram's gone. And yeah, with short form content, also in line with this, I realized one thing, that I was trading, making money, and then not able to relax because I was also having this urge to post short form content. And I just realized that I've been just banging my head against the wall, just trying and trying and trying for years to get consistent posting short form content. I just genuinely struggle with it so much, so much. And I just always feel guilty that I'm not good at it, or I'm not able to crank it out at the level that I want to be able to. And then I realized my favorite thing to do is write, pretty much out of everything. I love just distilling my thoughts. I think it's because the underlying principle or law of the universe is entropy. So it's everything's chaotic. So being able to bring stuff back into order gives me peace, a lot of peace. So that's why I love practices like meditation, writing, and tracking, etc., because I'm bringing order to the craziness. When I have all the craziness there, I'm not at peace because it's just too much going on, and I don't actually feel like I'm on top of stuff. I feel more free when I give myself constraints. So when I actually stay on top of these things, I've always said there's a positive correlation between how much I write and how happy I am. Again, happy is a funny word, but my general well-being level, it is a positive correlation with how much I write. Is there anything else here? Yeah, it's all pretty much the same stuff. It's all the same things I've written, just in different ways of framing it. The only thing that's a little bit different here, again, it's alongside the writing side, but it's balance consumption with creation. I have always been one to just every spare second just consume more information and write this information down. So then I'm just having this library of just building up information, that it's actually very hard then to distill that and fire it out. And then it gets even more difficult when the distillation process involves a whole video and editing, etc. That's why I love this kind of video where I can just push play, publish, no record, no editing, no anything. This I enjoy because it's a distillation process. Having like prepared something and I'm going to say this and then that, and that's what short form feels like to me. I feel like I'm performing. But again, just bringing it back to the balancing the creation and consumption. The more I consume, the more I have to distill. And therefore, it means more downtime required. If I then don't give myself that downtime, my anxiety levels go up. So then it's like the more we consume, the more we actually have to rest. It's kind of like consuming is input and we have to then output that. But if we're not having any output, we're getting bloated. And I genuinely feel the bloat causes me anxiety. It might manifest in different ways inside you, but thinking of it like everything I've reduced back to in and out. If we're just breathing in and we're not actually creating, we're just consuming, we're not allowing for the circular motion, and that leads to looping and it leads to stuck. So also making a point to dramatically reduce the amount I'm consuming. Because again, I have all this, I don't need more information, and you're probably the same. We don't need to find out more things. To a degree, of course, there's like there is a point where there is diminishing returns, and I've definitely reached that point. So be aware of that for yourself. At what point is more information actually causing a negative as opposed to assisting you? Very long-winded way of saying, I'm just consuming less content. Again, that ties in with the Instagram deletion and everything. It's just having genuine time to think, because what's that Naval quote? So many of us live unexamined lives, and fucking hell, man, that like hits me at my core. I'm like, fuck. Like, what is the point in living if we're not taking time to stop and enjoy the view, to actually realize what we're doing? Because we can just keep pushing. To what end? Like, what is the point in making more money if we're not enjoying right now? And it's very, very cliche, but it's the whole thing of genuinely just trying to observe my life more and just realize, okay, each day is its own cycle. Every day that we live in pursuit of something else is kind of like a day that just didn't even exist. So yeah, I'm just really putting, again, it all comes down to presence, and presence is power, and there is nothing apart from what we have now. And I've been very guilty of living in the future in pursuit of something, like when I achieve this, then I'll be happy. When I do this, then I'll be happy, etc. So yeah, that's all, dude. I'm going to head to the gym now. The power went out, but I can actually still record the video because everything's powered by Mac. Alright, dude, have a beautiful day. Ciao, ciao.